You have to actually be a legit agent. Like, you can't just be an Instagram influencer and expect you to have results if you don't actually know what you're doing. I don't want to just be another agent on social media that's doing the same stuff as everybody else. And I just went all in on being the best agent I could be. I'm like, if I am the best, then everyone's gonna refer me to other people. I'm just gonna dominate. I'm gonna be the number one agent here. And that didn't really happen until I started building my brand.
In the world of real estate marketing, there are many different styles of content. Talking head videos, luxury tours, funny transitions, and even rapping realtors. But in my opinion, real estate marketing at its absolute best, it showcases the home, the lifestyle, and the location with high quality video and highly energetic content that's engaging and exciting. At the top of that list of creators, Paige Steckling, out of Utah, with the Utah's finest team, stands above almost everyone else. And recently, she's absolutely blown up online. If you're not following her yet, I know you will be soon, because she has built one of the strongest personal brands in one of the shortest periods of time in the entire real estate industry. That's why I'm so excited to share this episode with you, where I got a chance to sit down with Paige, and together we will learn on how you can brand it like Paige.
My business, like, once I started doing the videos and stuff, kind of blew up effortlessly, so I didn't have to try anymore to get business. And then I kind of got to where I'm like, oh my gosh, if I was just selling like multi-million-dollar deals every month, like I would be set. Like it'd be so easy, you know? And now that I'm doing it, I'm like, oh dang, this is a lot of work. Like, it's going well.
The content or
just
or
like
the business,
keeping
just all of it.
everybody happy, like all the clients, like the team members, like the kids, like, you know, taking care of stuff at home. It's a lot, but I'm very grateful. But, you know, once you have something for a while, then you're like, oh, okay, what's next? You know?
What's next?
So, yeah, it's going great. And I'm super grateful for all my clients. But sometimes I'm like, I would like
Your clients are never going to
off.
see this, by the way. So
Perfect.
You can just say whatever you want about your clients.
Yeah.
Be grateful for them all? Not
Well,
all of them.
did we start the podcast? Like, have
Yeah, we're
we
just
officially
talking.
started? I'm
We're
confused.
just doing, yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't
We're always
like,
rolling. Just assume we're always rolling.
Okay, sounds great. We didn't like do an intro or anything. I thought we were just chatting.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was your question?
Well, now it's not natural. Okay, so my question, no, I said, hey, you can do whatever you want on here, because it's no, like, your clients are never going to see it.
Yeah,
but
they could. They could.
Well, they
Google
could
me.
possibly see it. We'll pick like the worst statement that you say, and then we'll just see if we'll accept a collaboration.
I
on
actually
it.
just went on a listing appointment where he's like, I've seen all of your stuff. He's like, I've Googled you. I've looked you up on YouTube. He's like, I watched all your stuff, so like I know who you are. Like, he literally said he searched me on YouTube and watched every video on there. So like,
how does
I
that make you
definitely
feel? Is
have
that uncomfortable?
clients see
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
They
okay.
Search my name.
Perfect. I'll
But-
probably spell Paige wrong. I'm pretty sure, so it'll not show up in
Probably
search.
spells like Steckling wrong, like everybody.
Everyone spells. Yeah, Streckling. Is that how you go? That's what you go with?
Steckling, whatever works.
Okay, so we're here in Houston.
Yeah.
You and I just got off the stage.
Yeah.
We're at the Real Estate Video Blueprint. It's like a 2-day conference put on by like Tim and Katie Day. And I don't think Tim Macy, I should say. It's not like they're both last names.
Yeah.
Day. And we just got off the stage and we were interviewing you about your brand, which I absolutely love. I'm a huge fan of what you do.
Thank you.
And when we were preparing for it, what I think my favorite part is just how many people, like, I feel like most of the time, like my entire 6 or 7 year career is just completely like without a plan, very disorganized. I'm just trying to like grasp at the opportunities that come my way. And I don't have a lot of, foresight maybe. And I've noticed that a lot of that sort of similar with you. It's like you're focused on doing the work. So you're a great agent.
Yeah.
But when it actually comes to like the big plan, the goal, the 5-year, like this is what you want to do. Like, what's that look like 5 years from now? What's Paige doing?
Yeah, I'm like, what am I going to be doing next? Because I did
Like
have
5
a
days
goal
from now.
to like, what am I going to do tomorrow? Like, I don't even know. But my goal was, I'm like, oh, I'd like to have a team. So like they are taking care of buyers and I can do less. I'd like to sell, multi-million-dollar properties each month. Like, that would be so awesome.
Yeah.
Then I could sit back and relax. And now I'm kind of doing that. And now I'm just kind of like, this is a lot of work, a lot of like stuff going on, a lot of stuff to keep up on. And so now I guess I would like to maybe get into even bigger homes a little bit from like, I've kind of maxed out in like the Salt Lake area, but maybe break into Park City a little bit because they have like the really big homes, the higher end stuff up there.
What kind of market price is that up in Park City?
It's like I think the highest price home to sell was like 50 million, but there's multiple like $10 million home, $20 million homes. Like there's a lot of that stuff up there because people are coming from all over. Like there was just an article in the Wall Street Journal that said the billionaires have taken over Park City, pushing all the millionaires out to Heber. And so I'm in like the heap, like I'm in where you're pushed out. So I'm like, that would be sweet if I could get in up there where like the big stuff is happening. But then it's also very stressful. Like I feel like these big homes, like it's funny because sometimes I feel like the bigger ones are easier. Like they're just like, oh yeah, like I trust you. Like I know you know your stuff. Tell me where to sign and we'll do it. This is great. I've had a couple of those. And then sometimes you have people who kind of treat you like the help, you know?
Yeah.
And so, anyways, I think how much I enjoy it depends on the client I'm working with, even though I love what I do. Like it's fun, but it just gets to be a lot sometimes. Like you can get burnout.
So as you've built your brand, are you finding that the way clients treat you change over time?
I just feel like it's easier up front. Like they know, like, and trust me. Yeah. So when I'm going to meet with them, for the first time, they're like, we know who you are. We want to work with you. We're ready to go. Like they respect me a little bit more basically. If they've seen my social stuff, you still get like the older generation who's not even on Instagram and they don't, you know, they don't care.
And they maybe don't value it the same way. But I've found like with my business, a lot of the clients that we get, or some of the higher end clients, they almost see you not necessarily as an equal, but they also see you as an entrepreneur or a professional because they've seen that
they
that side of
respect
it.
you. Yeah, because they're like, oh, this person has a legit business. They know what they're doing. They sell a lot of other really good houses. And so they just respect you and it's easier to like connect with them a little bit more for sure.
What's up guys? It's Brad McCallum here. Sorry to interrupt the episode. I hope you're enjoying it so far. There's just something I wanted to share with you. Have you yet had a chance to register for BAM Mania happening October 18th? At the Circa Las Vegas. Now this is going to be an absolutely crazy event. We've got guys like, check this out. We've got Sharran Srivatsaa. We've got Eric Simon, Byron Lazine. We've got Move Me to Tennessee, Chelsea Paige. We've got Neil Dingra, Tom Toole. So many more incredible speakers. And at a time in our industry when so much is changing, you want to be on top of it all, and BAM has it all. So it's going to be in Vegas. It's going to be an amazing time. And of course, at the completion of the event on the 18th, there's a BAM party. If you've never been to a BAM party, they are like nothing else. It's going to absolutely crush, and I hope to see you there.
So one of the goal of this podcast is really just to try to help agents understand the idea of a personal brand like a little bit better by listening to some of the agents in the industry that I think have the strongest personal brands. I've found, do you find that building a brand, building some like notoriety in your market, does it make you a better agent or does it make you a worse agent? Like in the typical sense.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm going with this is I find it makes agents lazy, right? Because when the business starts to come to you,
just easy.
Oh, it's so much easier, right? Like you don't have to have this 35-point follow-up plan. You don't have to reach out to people. Sometimes I've found, this is so bad to admit, but I've had times where like a client will reach out to me about like listing their property, and then they'll reach out a day and a half later and like, I know you're really busy, but still wondering if you might be interested in meeting with us to talk to us about our house. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm just ran off my feet and I feel bad. But if I didn't have a brand, it's like they would have been already listing. Yeah. Like, so what's been your experience so far?
I definitely do that. I have stuff falling through the cracks because it's so much easier for stuff to flow to you once you've built up your brand and people know you and you're like being seen all the time. And my husband sometimes he'll be like, hey, you didn't call this person back. Like someone will text him sometimes. Like if someone like refers something to us and I'm like, crap. Yeah. Now that's the reason I'm trying to build a team. So I have less slipping through the cracks and we can take care of everybody. But I feel like it actually makes me a better agent when I'm signed with somebody working with them because I'm terrified that people are going to be like, oh, she's just good on Instagram, but she's not actually a legit agent. I never want somebody to say that. And I think I told you I had a client before who the wife reached out and used me and the husband was like, we're not using the Instagram agent. Okay. Like we're going to find somebody legit. And he told me after, he's like, I'll be honest. Like I thought you were just like an influencer, like social media agent, and working with you ended up being great. And we loved working with you. And so I never want somebody to be like, oh, she just looks good. Like she has clout on social media, but she's not actually a legit good agent. Like I want to surprise them or shock them to where, no, this is just a side piece of my business to get your home out there, to make it look good, to get more business. But I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for 10 years and I want you to have an amazing experience, because that's not what it's all about. Like the social media stuff is just kind of like sprinkle on top. Like really what goes on behind the scenes is a lot more.
So that kind of goes back to how you got started, right? Like you've been an agent now, you were saying, for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And when you got started, you started like most agents do, you were saying, like as a buyer's agent. Like tell me and everyone else about what that looked like.
Yeah. So I asked this lady who was a killer real estate agent in a high-end neighborhood how she got started in real estate, because I was interested in doing it. And I told her, I don't have anyone in my family who is a real estate agent. I don't really have any friends that are real estate agents. Like, so I figure like I should be the one and everyone will just use me. She's like, well, why would anyone use you? Like, you don't know what you're doing. Like, no one's going to want to use you. They're going to want to use the agent who has experience and knows what they're doing. And I was like, well, they're nice. Like, I think they will. Like, I'm like trying to argue back with her. And she was like, if you really want to do it, you need to join a team. You should probably go to Keller Williams and get trained and join a team there, because they're really big on teams, and figure out what you're doing. They can give you all these leads. You can hit the ground running, and that's how you can learn how to do it. So I was like, okay. So I just called.
Quick shout out to Keller Williams for educating like 40% of the industry.
Right. They do have a really good training program.
They do. Yeah. They're great for new agents.
Yes. Yeah. So I started on a team there. I was his only buyer's agent, and I learned really quickly. And then I went out on my own after like a year and a half, 2 years of being a buyer's agent. And I just went all in on being the best agent I could be. Yeah. I'm like, if I am the best, then everyone's going to refer me to other people. I'm just going to dominate. I'm going to be the number one agent here. And that didn't really happen until I started building my brand. And then I was staying top of mind with people, and everyone was seeing my stuff. And then people started to remember. It wasn't when I was like being the best agent I could be and just hoping for referrals. It was when I started putting myself out there and reminding people, this is what I do.
Okay. I love that. One of the things that we talked about on stage today that I think really resonated with people was this idea that people just forget. That they don't care and they don't forget, or they will forget.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people that are really focused on like providing the absolute best service, right? And you get all of the training usually that comes out from brokerages or from your local board as you're getting licensed. It's about making sure you don't know how to get sued or contract law or all those things. And in the beginning, I was like, I don't really like, I don't care about that. I want a deal.
Yeah.
And then I'll go get like on the ground knowledge once I actually have a commission tied to it.
Yeah.
But you started off like really focusing on the service side of things. So you understood the business, that by the time when your brand started to hit, then things really started to move.
Yeah, because you have to actually be a legit agent. Like, you can't just be an Instagram influencer and expect you to have results if you don't actually know what you're doing. So I think that's the most important part, is being a really good agent, having the knowledge, having as much experience as you can get, like doing your research, staying up to date on the market, what's happening. And then to get the business, that's where the personal brand comes in, and like getting your message out there to the most amount of people.
So one of the reasons that I think you're one of the best in the business for branding is purely because I think you haven't forgot yet that you're actually, our primary job is to sell.
Yeah, haven't forgot yet.
Right? Not yet. Not yet. Oh, you will over time. No, but a lot of agents, they create a ton of different content, right? Like there's whole genres of content. It's agent content for agents. It's funny content. It's educational content for agents. Or we create market updates or all these different things. But at the end of the day, like, we're representing a client, we're selling their home. It's how you showcase that home in a way that like brings energy and passion and storytelling and even creativity that really, really, I think, sets you apart over a lot of other people. Like, you'll see great home tours, but they lack maybe the energy. So people just keep scrolling.
Yeah.
Or a great hook or something visual and stuff. So I think with your content, what do you think is resonating so well in your market to have helped you kind of grow so fast? And you can use what I just said to form an answer that makes it sound like I was smart.
Okay. Yeah, well, I use content buckets, if you will, before I knew what they were. I tried, since I started my real estate social media pages, I tried to switch it up between, Utah relevant content, like what to do in Utah or what's going on this weekend or where to shop or what to do here. And my just solds, like I will do proof that I actually know what I'm doing. What's that called? Social proof. Yeah. And then my listing videos, like I think part of the biggest reason for building up a brand and building up your following is so you can better serve your sellers and have more people viewing their listings. So you want to make those amazing and super unique. And then just helpful real estate content. So I try to cycle through like different types of content so I can cultivate the most diverse amount of followers basically, and like people will stick around hopefully. But yes, I am very big on listing videos, and now I'm kind of so busy with how many listings I do have that takes up a lot of my time, is like coming up with a video, shooting it, and then posting that. So I would like to go back to having more filling my other content buckets, because it's been really highly focused on the listing videos now.
I think this is the wild part about our industry, is like once you start doing something that actually works in your market, it works so well that it almost starts to close other doors. Like it takes away other opportunities because you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do this. Like for me, I just released this Branded Like Brad channel. I've been wanting to do it for a couple of years. I've been wanting to do this podcast for a while. I think I filmed our first episode of the podcast. It's like dropping in a day or so. You're actually our third guest, which is cool. Awesome. But I had so many listing videos, so much just normal real estate business, that it kept pushing this piece off. So it's kind of tough. So when everything else is busy in your life, at the end of the day, you default to, how do I service the people that I'm in contract with?
Yes, exactly. And I'm super grateful that now I've gotten these great listings from what I was doing before, but that's going to be my number one focus. Like I'm actually under contract with these people to help them to get their house sold. So that's going to be my number one, is making their listing look amazing and getting it out there. But hopefully it stays, like it keeps up the amount of business I have, because I'm not doing as much of like the funny, just random stuff anymore, which I would like to be doing. I'm sure there'll be a lull here.
I remember the one shot of, it's like a person comes home to the open house and it's like the ring light and you're like doing the realtor dance.
Yeah, that
like
one was fun.
That's great.
Yeah,
that was good. Okay, so a question for you, just around maybe the quality of your content, because like right now, like we got 4K 60 frames per second on our camera, or on our iPhones. iPhones. Okay. We're just gonna leave that in. So we've got great cameras on our iPhones, but yet still you've got a professional videographer with drone, with a gimbal, with like a proper camera out there, like filming this content. And in the beginning, like you were saying that you were investing in that like high quality content even before maybe you had all the business or the luxury agent or luxury listings. I find a lot of agents wait for that perfect listing before they decide that they're going to invest in content. Mm-hmm. But you didn't take that track. What was your intuition around that? Yeah,
well, I still do. If I were just to do a random reel talking to somebody, I would do it on my phone, do a green screen, like an informative one. I think it's fine to use your phone. But with listing videos, I 100% invest in a full-on videographer that knows what they're doing, that has a high-end camera, because your client is hiring you to showcase their listing. Like you don't want to just shoot it on your phone, just like you wouldn't take pictures with your phone. So I do invest in that. And my first couple, I remember thinking, why am I paying money for like a video on top of like photos and things? Like, is this, I'm just going to post it on my Facebook or Instagram. I didn't even have a big following at the time. But it ended up being huge for me. And I got so many more listings from other sellers seeing it and being impressed and being like, oh my gosh, can you sell my house? Can you do one of these for my house? And then it just kind of snowballed from there. So 100%, I think it's super important to invest in a high quality video, whether it's like a long form on YouTube or like a short form, eye-catching one on Instagram. That's what we're hired to do, is to get eyeballs on it, and having a good high quality one is super important.
I think that's an important thing for everyone to realize, is that it's just going to be an investment up front. When you're building your brand and you're putting your content out there, one of the things that you had mentioned this morning, on stage, was that there was like a couple of things that you think hold back most agents from just really getting started. Like, what were those?
The two biggest things, at least for me, and I think for other agents, are thinking that everyone's already doing it. Like there are a lot of agents posting content right now, so sometimes they can feel like people are going to be sick of this agent content. Like I don't want to just be another agent on social media that's doing the same stuff as everybody else. And I gave, do you want me to tell the story of my neighbor again?
I love that story.
So I was at my neighbor's house. This was like a few weeks ago. And she's a amazing baker, I guess. I don't know. There's probably a better term for it, but
I think a baker.
A baker? Is that the name? Yeah.
Chef is like,
hopefully
no,
she doesn't see this and like get offended.
Baker.
She's like, I'm a culinary artist or something.
Yeah.
But she makes these amazing cakes and cupcakes and cookies. And she had started this account and then she stopped posting. And I was like, why aren't you posting on that account anymore? Like, these are amazing. Like, everyone should see how good you are at this. And she's like, oh, there's just like so many baking accounts. I don't want to be another one out there. I don't want to copy what everyone else is doing. Like, there's just too many. Like, people can see it on another account. I'm like, but I don't follow one baking account. I know nothing about baking. I've literally never made a cake. I would love to see your content. Like, post it because I want to see these amazing creations that you're making and learn from you. And it was just a reminder to me because I have that same thought. There's so many agents out here. I'm going to like someone's already done this or people have already seen that, but most people aren't following one real estate agent and they don't know anything about real estate. So anything small that is like day to day for you might be super helpful for them. So just doing it and remembering that most people aren't following any agents at all. It was just a great reminder to me to not feel that way because I follow so many agents now and I see them and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sick of like seeing all this agent content, thinking everyone else is thinking the same thing, but they're not.
I think a lot of people, a lot of agents, they say no for their audience. I think a lot of people just in general, they have something that they want to do and they say no for the universe instead of like putting something out there and letting the universe say no back,
yes, 100%.
right? And so they just say like, you know what, I'm not going to try. I'm not going to do it. I might look foolish. I might look dumb.
Yeah.
And I thought you had a really great point about the algorithm. A really bad video, nobody sees it.
Yeah, like the algorithm is really good at figuring out what people are going to like, what's a good video and what's a bad video. So if your video sucks, like probably no one's really going to see it anyways.
Yeah.
And the people that do see it, maybe a couple people scroll past, they don't care. Everyone's so wrapped up in their own life that you're just building and you're getting better. While other people are worried about looking dumb and not posting anything, you're building and you're getting better at every single post every time you do it. So just remember that your good videos are going to get pushed out naturally and your ones that maybe aren't as good is just a learning experience and not that many people are even going to see it anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
Do you ever delete ones that you don't like?
Yeah. Probably that like you've never even seen because I'm like,
Probably.
oh my gosh, this like did terrible and I'm going to go back later. And I have deleted a couple videos because I'm like, yeah, that was dumb. We'll just delete that. And now I'm so much better. I'm making videos. You know?
I always find it funny when you see someone like you can't see their like count.
Oh,
and you're
yeah,
like, oh, someone's hidden the likes.
Yeah.
They don't want anyone to see how that one went.
I don't do that, but sometimes it is embarrassing. I'm like, how do I have like 75,000 followers and like 200 people liked this? Like, that's kind of embarrassing, but I don't think that really matters. Like, I don't like posts sometimes. Like, I'm just scrolling through it and I don't even realize it, or I'm watching the video and then the video's done and I forget to like it. So I feel like you can't.
Don't even count those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. No, that's a really great. So with the creative side of things, I think that's one of the coolest parts of what you do, in my opinion. I mean, we've got some amazing, like we're all friends with a lot of the same agents in the industry, and usually they're mostly the content creators, right? Like you've got like a Shane Bergman who's creating amazing stuff, super funny. You got Derek and like Eric, and then you got guys like Byron who are just so incredibly smart, where I'm like, my fear is him being like, oh, why don't you come in and like drop in for like the knowledge podcast?
Oh,
one.
to
I'm
be
like,
on the Knowledge Brokers, I'd be terrified.
Yeah,
And he'd
me,
just,
Tom
like, lay
Toole, and
into you
Byron.
and be
Like, I'm like, they're like, oh my gosh.
I love listening to their stuff.
Oh, no,
'cause
it's
then
great.
I'm like, okay, thank you, Byron. Thank you, Byron and Tom Toole. Like, tell me the detailed stuff that's boring that I need to know, but I can just get it in and not have to like spend as much time researching.
Yeah,
it. So
like,
it was super helpful.
I
just don't want to be the one on that podcast.
I watch other people's market updates for Calgary.
Yeah.
Because I just would prefer to consume content through someone else's like opinion or lens.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to look at a 15-page PDF like breaking down.
And it's just easier. You can listen to it while you're getting ready. Like for me,
Yeah.
while I'm doing my makeup or something, it's so much easier while you're driving.
Yeah.
So.
And then you actually, I feel like do I agree? Do I disagree? I form like an opinion on it.
Yes.
I get so much further ahead than I think even the market does. That's why it's like okay to share that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think when I think of creativity, I think of there's like a whole bunch of different things that gets tied up into it, right? Because there's obviously just like a really pretty house, dressed professional, stand in front, and nice shots. That's like one level of content. I think the second level of content is where you start to add like visual hooks, or you actually a spoken hook, or something. That's like, I think like level 2 in the content creation sort of journey. And then I think level 3 is when you start weaving in like other elements, like a story. And so I think a lot of people will use their Instagram stories to kind of give the behind the scenes, like, this is who I am, this is my life. I've always used like my wife and my 2 children in our videos, and we've never sacrificed on like the quality of those videos. We kept them high quality, really professional. I use that as an opportunity to showcase, like, I'm just a dad. I've got like a couple of kids. I make dumb dad jokes. My wife is this beautiful woman who walks around. That's probably why my channel's done so well.
You're like, get front.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, please, please, please. In fact, the first time, Tila wasn't in any of the videos for the first few years. And the first time we were in this home, in this little community near where we live. And I'm like, listen, I just want you to say, like, just be on camera for like the kitchen and then for the backyard and just like at the outro kind of thing. And she was like, no, I can't do it. And I'd already filmed the other parts. I'm like, no, please, like, we're just going to break it up, have you in there a few times. And she's like, no, I can't do it. I'm like, I'm holding the camera. I'm like, babe, we're standing in the kitchen right now. Just say something about the kitchen, just anything. This will be so much better if you're in it. And she's like, I don't want to do this. I'm like, I'm hitting record. I hit record. And she's like, this kitchen is amazing for a mom. Because from here, I can look over the island. I could watch my kids just sitting here on a Sunday morning, making breakfast and just watching them sitting by the fire. And I'm like, I have tried so hard to get okay on camera. And like in a second, she just had like charisma. She had an ability to kind of connect, and there was like a warmth there. But that part of it, like that storytelling of like, people see the professional presentation, they see the cool like cinematography, but then they also get to know you while the story is still focused on the home.
Yeah.
So you've done that really well with a lot of your content. Did you have ever any apprehension of including your family in any of that stuff, especially with such a large audience?
No, I didn't, but maybe I should have, but I haven't. I don't include them a ton. I'll include them on stories a bunch, but I always just try to think of something unique that's going to catch people's eye, whether it's about the music or it's about my kids in there, or if it's about something funny at the beginning, or it's about a really cool, unique feature of the house, or it's about the location. Like, is the location the best thing about this house? So just included something that's really cool about the house that's going to help sell it. And
so it's always, it always comes back to some story piece, right?
Yeah.
So if the house isn't the story, like in this one reel I saw with you, the home maybe wasn't like a real showstopper like some of the other ones. But the story became more about the community and the location. So then you crafted everything around that. Like your family, it backs out onto an elementary school. You could watch them having recess. So you're always looking for that thing that's going to make it stand out.
Yeah, like what's going to sell the home? Who's going to buy this house? And how do we appeal to those people and make people stop scrolling when they're watching this video? Even if it's a boring house, you can make the video cool with something funny or a cool song or something about the community. There's always something about every house that you can bring people's attention to.
So then what sort of inspires you? Like if you were like, okay, I've got an idea. Like what's that like genesis point for you? Is it, I think you were saying it was like music or something.
I'm really inspired by music. That really helps to get my creative juices flowing. So I'll just be, if I hear a song or I hear a sound on Instagram, I'm constantly thinking of how I could apply it to a listing video or something to do with real estate, because I think other people connect with music as well easier. So that's been big for me in sparking ideas.
It's also kind of proven, right? Like you use like Back in Black, right? AC/DC, and you've immediately got this song that everyone knows and resonates with. Yeah. Everyone feels something about it, and it kind of also informs like the pace of the video. Yeah, it informs
like helps
the edit,
with the whole
everything.
Vibe of the whole thing. Yeah. So I've done multiple listing videos that it was like all thought up around a specific song, and it just makes it way more fun. You know, I want to watch something.
Something more fun.
Yeah,
for sure. So even though you do all this creative content, and you started off being very focused on like just taking care of your clients, worried that they might just forget, or they likely will forget if you're not constantly reaching out to them. And most agents suffer like with reaching out and being really consistent with their follow-up. But yet you're using your videos to continually sort of be in front of those people, expand your database at the same time. And even in some of your content, I see you using like ManyChat as just a way to build your database. So this is not just about exposure. Like there is some strategy behind what you're doing.
Yeah. And I would love to get this even more dialed in. I have a full-time admin that helps me with this now. But I would say at first my videos were just helping me stay top of mind with my SOI. People were remembering me. People were calling me.
Yeah.
People were like giving me rewards kind of for the effort I was putting in, like referring their friends to me. So that was awesome. And now that it's gotten so much bigger, now it's just reaching outside people, getting my listings out to more and more people. So using MiniChat by having the link to my listing sent straight to them, and then ideally they sign up on our website, and then our admin, we use Lofty, and we have everybody categorized so you can tag them by like how old are they, what areas are they looking in, what's their time frame, what's their price range. So
do you do all that?
No, that I see a spreadsheet and I want to throw up.
Yeah.
Like I hate it. I just want to be like out talking to people or making videos. That's what I love.
Selling homes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I am getting it more and more dialed in. I've been doing this for 10 years, so I'm like finally slowly starting to do the stuff I hate, but it's very helpful and it's valuable to your clients. The more organized you are and the more you can retarget people that you already sold a house similar to this or in this similar area, but they didn't end up buying it, and you can retarget to those people they're listing. It just adds more value to your clients.
So do you do a little bit of boosting? Do you ever like boost your videos, promote it?
I only boost my listing videos, and I think that's some of the best money that you can spend, because you can boost it in the exact areas you want, and it's advertising yourself and it's advertising your listing. So the sellers love it because you're paying to like get their listing out there to more people. And it helps get you more clients as well. So, yeah.
Okay. I have a question. You just moved over to Engel Völkers. We're going to do a little speed round here.
Okay.
Okay. Like Engel Völkers or Sotheby's?
Engel Völkers for sure.
Okay. Why?
Well, I don't want to offend any Sotheby's agent. I feel
No,
like Engel
Sotheby's is
Völkers is like a little bit cooler.
It's like sounds European. Well, I guess Sotheby's does too, but it's like this is more like Western Europe, not like UK. Sotheby's sounds very.
I feel like Sotheby's is like
barristers and solicitors.
like old money, like just kind of boring, like stuffy a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Engel Völkers is like, we're a really nice luxury brand, but like we're cooler than that.
We had an E&B office up in.
I'm gonna get canceled by Sotheby's. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna be canceled by Sotheby's.
Okay.
Sotheby's it's great for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
sure.
Like they're a high-end brokerage.
Okay, Instagram.
Just a little too high-end for me.
Yeah.
I like a little bit more chill, like relaxed, down to earth. You know.
I like that. That. Engel and Völkers is down to earth and chill. I like that.
The people
Maybe.
there are.
That's
Like
cool.
the whole vibe of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram. But to be honest, I like watching TikTok better. There's some
me too.
hilarious TikToks. I love it. Like
I feel like it can be so it can be more dumb.
So funny. If you get on the right algorithm, I'd rather be on TikTok than watching Netflix, you know? It just makes me laugh, and I send it to my friends back and forth. It's
Yeah.
the best. But Instagram, I get more business from.
Yeah, so Instagram is like the spot for business. I like TikTok for ideas.
Yeah.
I think like TikTok is a great space for ideas, and then you just kind of pull some of those away.
Yeah, TikTok, I'll try stuff that's embarrassing on there. Like, if you go to my TikTok, you're like, oh, like, I'm like, oh, I'll see how it does on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, because, like, not as many people follow me on there. I think I have, like, 30,000 something on TikTok, but I swear TikTok just pushes you out to new people almost every time. So it's so much more random than Instagram. And so I'll just try stuff on there. I don't really care, but Instagram, I keep a little bit more, like, curated and pretty.
Sure. So I find that even with TikTok, I don't even always see the same people. Like the algorithm knows what I want more than it knows who I follow.
I never see anyone I follow on my For You page. It's like just random. And
I actually kind of like that because when I go on Instagram, it's like, you know, there's some agents that are really good at posting all the time. And I'm like, is it all really good? But it's just all the time. It's like, it's so much. So what I like about your account and your content, what you've kind of like realized, I think with your business these days, is that it's like everyone's attention is like on their phones all the time.
Everyone's right here. It's terrible. Like you'll be at dinner, you'll be out with friends, and everyone's just right here.
Family reunion. Everyone's staring at this. Like we have a family dinner. The kids will have their iPad set up. My wife will be sending me a meme, and I'm like, we're sitting there like talking, like, oh, you got to see this, and he's like sending it over, and I'm like, it's wild. Like it's strange, but if your strategy doesn't involve being on social media or on YouTube or on those different platforms,
everyone's attention is right here, and that's where you have to be. Like you're gonna win if you're on these apps where everyone's attention is. It's probably not even good for our mental health. Like our attention shouldn't be on here all the time, but it is. Like I'm so addicted to it, it's terrible. I try to like set limits or like after 5, put my phone away until my kids go to bed, that kind of thing, because if I don't, I just like, I have an addictive personality anyways. Like I'll just like can go all day on like laughing on TikTok, and like before you know it, you've spent like an hour on there, you know?
You told me something really good today too, because I was like, oh man, you know, I put this video out this morning. I just had like so much imposter syndrome about it, just like announcing our YouTube channel, and you're like, whatever, like, what don't you like about it? And I was like, I don't like that shirt. And you're like, Brad, people are gonna look at that for like a split second, and just go on, and they won't care.
Yeah, people are so wrapped up in their own lives. Like,
of course,
no one cares about you. Not just be rude. No one cares about me. Like, everyone's just thinking about themselves. And if they're judging you for something, it's some projection they have or thought about themselves that they don't like that they're projecting onto you. But really, everyone's worried about themselves. Like, no one really cares. So just like put your stuff out there, and like you might as well like let's make something happen. You know?
And you get some haters too, even with your content.
Yeah.
And I like what you said this morning. If you don't have haters, you should probably
dial it up. Yeah. And I think for a while I had a couple reels that went viral, and some of the haters, I was like, damn, like everyone hates me, like this sucks, there's so many rude comments. But now it doesn't really affect me like that at all, unless every once in a while someone will say something that you're already self-conscious about a little bit, that gets to you. But for the most part, if it's just a rude comment, I don't care at all, and I'm actually happy. I'm happy if I get a rude comment, because I know the video is being pushed out to people that aren't my people, that don't follow me.
Yeah.
And there's way more nice people than mean people. The people that are taking the time to post something mean on your reel or post are miserable. I actually feel for them. Like, that sucks. You're a miserable person. But I'm very grateful for your comment, because it's helping push my reel out there.
Do you ever come back at them in the comments? Do you ever say something back, or do you just let it stand?
No. If it's something to do with real estate, like I did a post on the commissions, and this is before the settlement happened, but just on things that could happen. And some people were like saying why that wasn't right, or this doesn't work. So I'll defend things. If someone's saying that like what I'm saying isn't true, then I feel like I'll go on and defend my side of it. But if someone's just like, you're an idiot, like agents are the scum of the earth, I'm just like, thank you. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I
think we spend a lot of time trying to convince people that think that we don't have worth, that we do have worth, when that energy could be far better spent just talking to the part of the audience that already like does want to work with us. I'm really kind of curious about what you think about this, but agents are right now, we're so wrapped up in what's happening this summer, and possible now DOJ is looking back into this like commission lawsuit. I'm in Canada, so I'm somewhat like insulated from this, but just through Reel and my network and all my friends, like, and the fact that everything from America eventually hits Canada, like I'm super curious about what this is going to do. What do you think about agents making content that's kind of meta? It's meta. It's like about the industry, but not necessarily relevant to their markets.
Like the commission lawsuit not being relevant to their market and just being about the industry as a whole, you mean?
Yeah, like some of that stuff. Like lots of times we talk, I think maybe a little bit like insider talk.
Yeah.
Right. And we're posting that stuff, and I feel like it sometimes just gives the audience.
I think you want to keep it really professional, and it is good to trend hijack sometimes. Like I did stuff about the Barbie movie, or if somebody's I've had so many people ask me about commissions now. Like clients are
really?
Oh, did you hear about what do you think about these lawsuits? Are you worried? Like they just skim the headlines and they don't know.
Yeah.
So I think if you're like staying neutral and just like making informative content, like I've seen some agents going on and like complaining about it or like trying to sell their value. I would just be like kind of matter of fact, like, hey, this is what could happen. And right now, instead of like the seller having to pay both sides, like it might just be decoupled. So you ask for your commission as part of just like you would with closing costs. You ask your commission to be paid as part of the offer, or the buyer has the option to pay for it themselves if they want. But just being matter of fact with it, I don't think that it's going to be as big of a deal as some people are thinking.
Okay,
about.
The reason I bring this up is because this is one thing I think you do really well. Like I think a lot of agents with their content, they forget their audience and who they're actually trying to serve.
Yeah.
Right. So some agents will get political. Some agents will share this other stuff. They'll make content one day for other agents. They'll make inside joke content. They'll do stuff that's like just all kind of over the map, and then they're wondering like why they're not really hitting. But with all of your content, it stays at that professional level.
Yeah.
Where it still is like clearly this person could represent us in our in our sale.
Yeah, I really try to keep my blinders on from other agents and what other agents are doing and just focus on like who is my target audience here and how do I appeal to them? What is going to be helpful to them? If I was living in Utah, what would I want to see? Who would I want to follow if I had nothing to do with real estate? What would be helpful if I was thinking about buying a house? What would be helpful if I was thinking about selling a house? And just add as much value as I can to my target audience and not even think about other agents. Now that I have so many agents following me, I actually find myself getting worried about what I'm going to post. Like I was going to do a post on the lawsuits and I wanted it to be super simple and helpful to like the clients who have been asking about it specifically. Yeah. But then I start getting in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all these agents following me. What are they going to think? Are they going to be like, oh, that's not right? Or like judging me from an agent perspective. But I'm like, okay, that's not who I'm posting for. Just like think about my target audience, buyers and sellers. Those are the people I'm trying to reach and just post for them. Don't worry about being simple. Don't worry about what other agents think because you want it to be simple and very easily digestible for just the average person that doesn't know anything about real estate.
I love that. So tell me, how are you going to break into this Park City market? These $10+ million homes. Like what, do you have a goal for that?
Dude, I don't have a goal. I'm tired. I'm tired because I have so much. I have amazing listings right now and I love them. Like I'm so happy, but I'm just like, gosh, I don't even have time. It seems like a $10-20 million listing would be a full-time job. But anyways, I'll get back to you on that. Hopefully I figure this out. And
do you think you're playing the long game right now? Here, I think you are.
Am I? Right now, I've kind of reached like where I wanted to reach. I'm like, well, what do I do next? So, I mean, I would like
maybe
to
that's
get into
the point though,
listings,
right?
But yeah.
Yeah. So maybe next time when this podcast has a few more listeners,
yeah.
right? If you agree to come back, you can tell us what you did to break in and get some of those like 20, 30, $40 million listings.
I'll either have broken into that or I'll just be retired.
Oh,
like,
perfect.
Know what?
Even better.
We're good.
Right on.
We sold all these homes and we're good now. We're done.
So you don't love being on?
Well, I feel like I'm an introverted extrovert. So I love talking to people, but then I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to just like decompress and like be in my own mind and not like being on for like people or video or speaking. So I'm like relieved when I get a break. But you and like Sharran, I was talking to Sharran yesterday. He's just like on and going. He's like amazing. I'm like, this guy never has. He never has an off. He's
that
on
guy
all the time.
He has more capacity than any other human I've ever met in my entire life. I've known him I've known Sharran for about 5.5 years. And the first time I met him, I was about 7 months in the industry.
Yeah.
He came and spoke at our brokerage. I was at Remax. Back in the day, our broker knew him for some reason, so he like flew in.
Okay.
And I don't think anyone in the office...
What was he doing at the time, like when he came to speak with you?
He had sold TELUS Properties about a year earlier,
okay.
So he had ran that company from like $300 million to $3.3 billion in 5 years.
And what was the purpose of him coming to talk to your brokerage? Like, what was he trying to accomplish by coming to speak to brokerages?
So he was running a Kingston... It was called Kingston Lane. It was this business that was basically helping agents, I guess, kind of run their businesses, like run the back end, the database, all this stuff. So him and another partner, this guy by the name of Steve Olson. And so I think he came for that, and he was just starting to build a personal brand outside of, like, so Sharran's always been like years ahead of everyone else, right?
Got it.
But afterwards, I sat down with him, and I went up to him. I'm like, I got to meet this guy, right? And everyone was Canadian in the audience. So no one was like, "Ooh, do we talk to the speaker or not?" And I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna go talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And my my broker comes up and he's like, Sharran, you got to see like Brad. I got one of Brad's videos right here. Like, you got to watch his video. And so Sharran watches it for like, and then he's like, dude, this is amazing. Dude, this is amazing. But what, I gotta tell you, like, do you want to be the guy who sells all the homes, or do you want to be the video guy? I'm like,
can I be both?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. He's like, if you want to use this to sell a lot of the homes, or if you want to be just dismissed for being a video guy, I'll show you how. And then he takes like this, it was like literally a napkin, and he just draws this little framework for my business. And he's like, everything you do with your business, just run all of your content through that like siphon.
What was the siphon?
So the siphon was
Are you gonna share it with all of us?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It was have it be in service to your clients. Like, just have it always be in service to your clients. And so you want to create this piece of content, that's cool. How does it serve your client? Like, what's in it for the person that you're working with?
Yeah.
And so I've had a lot of thought around this idea of like branding and personal branding, and can agents do it, and what do agents do well, and what do agents do right? And like, I don't believe a brand is someone's logo or their colors. Like, that might be a small component of the look they're trying to curate.
Yeah,
but
it's like
ultimately,
the whole vibe, like who you are.
Yeah, but it has to be authentic to who you are. Like, it has to be, right? Like, I could want to try to present as 6'3" and, chiseled jawline. Not going to happen for me. So that's fine. So I'm just going to go all in on being me, and that's it. But only if it's in service of the person that I'm working with or trying to help out.
Totally.
So I always tell this story about how I almost lost this listing with my dad. But the reason why I was so thankful for it was because I started asking this question of like, what's in it for the people that work with me, instead of how do I get more leads?
Yeah.
And once I had that question asked, I realized like, oh yeah, like that's like my value proposition. So every day if I work on that, the business will eventually come. I just have to work on the thing that makes people like know, like clearly if I work with Brad, I get this. Like clearly if people work with Paige, not only do they get access to your like social media account, all that extra exposure, all those other agents, but they also get access to your creativity, you know, to your passion, to your interests, to all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge.
They have a good idea of who you are as a whole, what they're going to get when they work with you, what you provide, and they know who you are. When they call you, you kind of have like the deal laid. It's kind of like a lay down.
Okay, you were asking if I was, if I like this, like being in front of the camera.
Oh yeah, like if you like being on and like talking to people, or do you like need your time where you're like, all right,
So
I'm not going to talk to you
yesterday, like I came up here at like 4:30 because you didn't have your slides ready. Remember that? You remember that?
Yeah, you came up here to do my slides for me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I came up and did the slides. No. It was, we were working on them. So we kind of, I was like, I got to get away from everyone. I was trying to like run up to like get a shot done for another piece of content. And then we were trying to run another spot. And then along the way, there's like 5 or 6 people stopping and saying hello and giving you a hug. And it's like, I'm so bloody grateful that anyone cares whether or not I'm alive or dead.
Yes.
That when I get up here, I'm done. So like by the time I hit the airport and I start flying home, I'm going to be so exhausted. Like I'll be just so exhausted.
Yeah, I know. I love talking to people and I love getting in front of people. I feel like you have to be that way as an agent. Like I love talking to people and learning about them, but then I'm also like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to like put my headphones in and just be like, you know.
So like being on camera is totally different though, being in front of a live audience.
Yes.
Or being in a room full of people networking. Because
I don't know why being in front of an audience is terrifying to me. Because
you
being
did
in
so
camera,
well.
you can retake. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I messed up that word, let me retake it. Like the only person that cares is the videographer. They're like, oh my gosh, this bitch sucks.
Yeah.
She can't get her lines right. But in front of an audience, there's no, you're like, well, hopefully I don't say something stupid.
I find it so weird too, is that people just accept it. Like I would never accept me live like this on a listing video. I would be like my my pauses. I could have said that better. I don't like the way I said a phone.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of moments.
But I mean, I like listening to people be natural. Like my favorite podcast is the Joe Rogan ones because you're just listening to a conversation between people and it's like he'll have like fascinating people on, like physicists.
So,
and
do you believe in UFOs?
I want to, but I'm just like, I don't think there's enough proof. Like I listen to what Elon Musk says. Elon Musk is like, I'm exploring space more than anyone else. Like I think I would have gotten a glimpse of something if there was something. And I'm sure that there is somewhere. Like the universe is so massive. Like there's got to be something else. I feel like it's kind of like indulgent to think that we're like we're like a little tiny speck, you know? So there's got to be something, or like some other dimension that we don't understand, but yeah.
So another good reason why like I shouldn't hold back from putting out content, because
it
does not matter.
Literally, we're so insignificant. Yeah. Like,
so isn't Area 51 in Utah? Isn't it there?
No, there's a place called Skinwalker Ranch in Utah, and there's been all these like sightings and stuff there. There's a full documentary on it on Netflix. I'm like, billionaire dude. I think that's like legit what it's called.
This would be great content. How come you have not yet made the Skinwalker reel?
I should do that.
You should do a Skinwalker reel.
There's another big mountain that like a billionaire bought that like it's like this country club ski resort. Like you have to be a member there to even be able to ski on the resorts. Okay. And I've been meaning to do content.
I have an agent friend in Park City, and she was showcasing this billionaire's mountain ski resort.
Yes. Yeah. There's like another dude that went viral. He's like in Logan, like in northern Utah. He did a thing about it. But yeah, I've been meaning to do one about that. And then Skinwalker Ranch, people are super interested too, that I should do. And there's just so much in Utah. There's like amazing, like Bryce Canyon, like amazing national parks and stuff. But anyways, there have been like a bunch of alien sightings, I guess, on Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know that I believe it. I need more proof that I can actually see of something. But I hope that it's real, because that would be so crazy. And I want to see it and learn about it. Like if they actually have like the alien people they say that they have, you know?
Like there's like people believe that they are just there.
Well, have you listened to any of the episodes on that? Like, there's
Never.
government officials that come out. I think the government now came out and say that, like, they have alien something. Like, in
There was a
Utah,
bunch of
right?
stuff that was released, right? Like, I've seen, like, the footage of the stuff, like, all
Yes, but
flying
then now
around.
people are like, oh, they're just, like, saying that to distract because they don't want you to know about the technology that they have.
Sure.
So who knows? But there's people that full on say, like, yeah, it's crazy stuff went on at Area 51. Like, there was these, like, they have pieces of some alien thing, but who knows? I don't believe it enough. I need to, like, actually, I have a little bit more proof.
I've got one more question
What
for
do
you.
you think? I want to know what you think.
I don't know. It seems like a lot of space for there to be nothing, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
But do you think, like, there's actually been anything on the earth that, like, we have proof of that there's something, or you think it's all bullshit?
You know, I probably think it's probably bullshit.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I just, like,
Sucks.
I
It'd
mean,
be
I
so
wanted
cool
it
if
to be
was
something
real.
else. I'm like, how do we, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
an earthquake would happen and you'd hear about it in the news.
Yeah.
Now you get like 87 viewpoints from different angles of TikTok, right? Like,
Yeah.
everyone's
Like,
got their
how do
phone
we
out
not
all
have
the time. Like, how do we
footage in
not
4K?
Yeah, like, did you remember that thing in Miami? There was like these like 10-foot people that they said there was these. It just was like 6 months ago.
Oh, I think I saw that on TikTok or something.
Right, and there was these like tall guys that were walking around.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna need some better
and
footage
they had like
than
helicopters. They said there was like thousands of people and 50 cops outside of a mall.
Yeah.
And they said it was all because there was these like tall giant aliens that were walking around.
that. Yeah.
And the only footage is like 3 pixels that are just kind of like dancing around.
Yeah,
And
it's like
I'm
iPhones are
no,
too
this
good
is
for that now. We
ridiculous.
don't have
This is
flip
no
phones
way.
anymore. Like, you should be able to have
I'm
gotten
like,
better footage.
And I know this because if you're ever in public and there's like another friend at the restaurant with you and you didn't see them yet, and you get that picture and they've taken a picture of you from across the restaurant, like with like a sandwich in your mouth or something like that, and it's like, it's good from at 12 times things just to make fun of you.
You can definitely
like, you
see
could
what it
see
is.
if there was an alien.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question for you.
Okay.
So this is actually something I wanted to ask you on the podcast, but you were telling me, like, do you have any interest in like doing a TV show? Because there's been some interest. Are you allowed to talk about it or no?
I don't know. I'll just talk about it because I'll tell you exactly what happened. They are filming a reality TV show in Utah right now.
At your former brokerage?
At my former brokerage, yeah. So I went on that brokerage. I joined that brokerage to do this reality TV show. Shot the pilot for it, and then while waiting to see if the pilot got picked up or not, I switched to Engel and Völkers because they were recruiting me. I wanted to like learn from them and be a part of them. And then the show did get picked up, and now they're filming like the first season. So
any regrets?
a little bit. I actually want to see how it goes, but it's terrifying. Like, the contract you sign is like, they can put words together, they can make you look however they want. Like, I can actually show you in real life. Like, I'm supposed to be doing a scene with Malaysia tomorrow, just like a lunch scene to like talk about, because Malaysia, who's on my team, went back to Engel and Völkers
or Presidio,
went back to Presidio because she's shooting the show. And so she's showing one of our buyers. She's still finishing out like buyers that I had given her that she'd already started working with. So she's showing one of our buyers the brokerage that the show's about, one of her listings, and so we're like gonna go to lunch and like talk about it or something, or like me and the old broker are still good. And like this new contract they sent me to sign just to that is like terrifying. They're like, you may be humiliated by how you make us work, and you release all liability and all, like, we can make you look however you want. I'm like, do I want to do this scene? Like, that's terrifying. Like, I don't know what they're gonna say, you know.
So the last time I think we talked about this was like probably a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. First time I met you, you were saying like, there's this chance, there's this possible to show, but I'm not sure if I really want to do it. And I mean, I watched a little bit of Selling Sunset, and then for me, I was just like, I don't know, it was not really enough about real estate. Like, I actually find real estate enough.
Yeah,
I find it interesting.
But actually, I agree with you on Buying Beverly Hills that is more legit. Like, they
so
have
much
stuff
more legit.
that's real. Yeah.
I mean, they still have like these moments where I'm like, what? They wouldn't have said that, all right?
Yeah.
Or like they've made this into like a storyline. But I still like, I'm kind of like, I still like to know.
Yeah,
I still like to know if that gets resolved.
Yes.
So I keep watching.
Totally.
But I liked seeing the actual. They're landing listings. They're opening different offices. Like, you're seeing like Mo Mansky getting like, you know, exhausted and burnt out, and like even how that impacts the team. So I'm like, I find that fascinating. But you were saying how it's like, yeah, you're just like, oh, there's drama and all this other stuff. Do you see some of that? Is that something?
Yeah,
that
like,
you're just
I'm like, I don't want it to end up hurting me to where you have no control over how you look. So I don't want it to end up hurting me and people being like, oh, like, you know, they can kind of make you look however you want. And the producers say, they're like, no, who you are, we want to come across, and we want everybody to at least have some redeeming qualities. But yeah, it's just kind of scary. I mean, I guess like I don't want to care what people think. So working on that and getting over that. Part of me is like, oh, YOLO, like let's just do it. Like worst case, I look like an idiot, I'll just hold it in my house and it'll blow over, hopefully. But then part of me is like, oh, I don't want to like do some reality show, have it be super dramatic. You never know what someone else is gonna do or make you look like, and then you know and then you look like an idiot and regret doing it, and it's out there for everyone to see. Also thinking about how it could affect like your kids or your spouse.
That's
it seems like a lot of people on reality, like their family gets messed up or they end up getting divorced. So
yeah, I think it's
a lot to think through.
I think it like amplifies everything in your life, right?
Yeah.
Your exposure, like unwanted attention, just all of that stuff.
Yeah, I already get enough like creeps reaching out to me on Instagram with like
no kidding
pictures I would like to not ever see again.
Is that gross? like I've gotten that. Like on WhatsApp.
I'm like, I can't imagine these people that are like.
I've saved them all to my phone. No, I'm just kidding. I did not save
like,
those.
I secretly love it.
To my phone. Yeah, I actually got a show once. Actually twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, once when I was doing my renovation company. We got, I used to have a renovation company, and I was very kind of like out there on social and on Vimeo back like pre-YouTube.
And how did it go? How did the show go?
Well, no, they did a nationwide search for contractors for people specializing in like man caves.
Okay.
Okay. And that's basements, just to be totally clear on that one.
We have that here.
And so, I don't know why I had to explain that. Anyways, man caves. It was focusing on man caves. And I was like, the production company, like, yeah, they chose you. And this was like after like months and months. I'm like, okay, this is amazing. Yeah. And then they're like, yeah, we just got to take it back to Harpo. And I'm like Oprah's channel? Like Harpo, the Oprah Winfrey,
she was putting it on.
OWN network was picking up this show. And yeah, it went to them and they're like, oh no, not him. And so they ended up like hiring these like real American beer belly, like dudes in their 50s that were, So I didn't get to do my show. But
dang it! But have you had another show, or that was the only one you?
Like, I had like another opportunity to do like a real estate show, and I just was like, it was actually going to like kind of work out, and then I kind of backed away from it. I was,
you
like,
didn't feel good about it.
Yeah, I just didn't feel
Why?
good about it. I just didn't think that. Here's the thing with like a lot of opportunities, especially as you build your brand or in this industry, there's like a million different directions you could go at once, and it's easy to say yes to a lot of things, and then it's hard to sometimes remember like what makes me happy. Yeah.
But what was your main the thing holding you back from doing the second show? Like, was it was going to be drama? Was it going to make you look bad? You think it was going to take too much time?
I thought it was going
to be everything.
I thought it was going to be like time. I thought
you don't like the people.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't like not having the control over things. Like I know you come from like a faith-based community as well, and I just didn't want people in my world to all of us. I didn't want to be portrayed different than I was, and then cause a whole bunch of other trouble and attention
100%.
and stuff I didn't want to deal with.
My whole goal is making money, so I'm like, okay, if this is gonna lead to more opportunity to make more money because it's gonna get my brand out there, then great. But like, I'd prefer to just like do a great job and make money on my own without having like all my shit out there for all the world to see, you know. So maybe I can do that without it. But you know, if that's gonna like streamline me, you know, like making what I want to make or like getting to a certain level, then I would be open to it. But I'm just like, is it? Or can I do this better in a different way? I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, when you do the research on this, like most of these shows, they pay virtually nothing. We were getting paid nothing. Yeah, the only goal is to help give you more exposure so you can get more business.
But then you look at like Brian Serhant and Josh Altman, and it's like it clearly works. Amazing for them.
Clearly works.
But it just depends.
Yeah, I don't think I don't have that premature gray or the height or the build to be a Serhant. I could be more of an Altman. I could definitely be more of an Altman. Sorry, Josh. Anyways, thanks a lot. This was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, and now Sharran's talking, so we should probably get there. All right, cool.
If you enjoyed this conversation, we got some more great ones coming up with other thought leaders. We'd love you to check them out, so don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Branded Podcast.